Welcome to The Constant Flow, a podcast for overthinkers, anxious teens, and their socially challenged mums trying to navigate life. Meet socially awkward mum, Sam for short, an introvert faking extroversion. Her kryptonite is small talk. Sam's a wife, mum, teacher, and filmmaker, trying to balance all roles and still be her. She loves New Kids on the Block, essential oils, and believes that TV is life. Her podcasting partner in crime is Anxiety Boy. Let's call him AB, deep thinker, burner of midnight oil, and constant replayer of moments and conversations already past and long forgotten by others. AB is a Green Day idiot with a gaming heart.
Hello, everybody. I am Sam.
Sam, I am.
Sam, I am. I do not like green eggs and ham.
I do not like them either, but I am actually Sam, and you're with us on The Constant Flow. Thanks for joining us again. We hope you've had a great week.
Normal eggs and ham are okay though.
We're going to start tonight's, this week's episode. We're going to start it with a bit of a disclaimer, because the main topic of conversation in our episode is going to be anxiety and mental health issues. Though we will delve off into other conversation, and that is always going to be our starting point, and that is the main sort of focus of the podcast. So we just want to take a moment to remind you that what we're sharing is our own personal journey, our own personal experiences, and we recommend that you always seek medical advice when treating anxiety and mental health issues, that you talk to people, that you are open and honest, and that you get medical professional advice, because we are not medical professionals. I'm a teacher.
And if you have anxiety, or your anxiety and anxiety triggers may differ from ours.
Exactly. So it's really important that you are open and honest and you seek help when needed. Yeah, I just wanted to check in, and from time to time I will remind everyone because it's really important. But what we think is really, really important in this world is that there is more conversation around anxiety and mental health. I was listening to a talk on the radio. No, I think it was a YouTube clip, and it was somebody who was talking about his mental health experiences, and he was talking about how, you know, when you have a broken arm, people can see it, and when you are really unwell, when you're in a wheelchair, people can see it or whatever. But mental health is unusual in that you can't see it, and we've lived in
Can't see it till it gets very, very bad.
Until it's really bad, because people, I think a lot of that is because people haven't been open in the past. So we're here to start the conversation and to continue talking about it, so that we can hopefully spread that, and that more people will be open and honest. AB has his cup of tea. Tonight I'm drinking lemon lime and bitters as we chat, and we're going to get fancy. We're going to get into anxiety moment of the week. So AB, have you had a particularly anxious moment this week?
Probably not.
Probably
This is
not.
some of the weeks I can say I probably haven't, as I have been not doing much.
Yeah, because you're on school holidays at the moment.
I sleep and I don't talk to people outside of my family, which is usually the people that cause anxiety.
Your family?
No.
The people outside.
We got an anxiety moment of the week. This is it right now. Me failing at speaking.
No. I get that. So you feel more comfortable when you're inside the safety of home.
The safety of Greenstone Manor.
Of Greenstone Manor. Well, I want to expand on that because I haven't had a particularly bad moment this week, but I did have a brief moment. Oh no, tell a lie. I had a mini panic attack today. So one of my big triggers is money and financial strain. It probably goes back to a time around when you were born, my husband had cancer. And I had already left my job. I was retraining. I was a TV producer and I was retraining to become a teacher. And I'd already left my job and I had you at home, and my husband got cancer, and that was pretty massive, but he couldn't work. And the financial burden was really full on. And I'd always been really in control of our finances. So the burden of not knowing, like, I did everything to make money. I was selling graphics work online and just everything I could to make extra cash, and not knowing week to week how I was paying my bills caused me a lot of stress. And I think I'm still recovering from that. Even though now we do okay. We both work full time. We run a business.
Pretty on top of it now.
Yeah, it's pretty on top.
Really the mental.
It's still there. So today I got a parking ticket while I was out having coffee, and I still felt, and I thought about it at that time, because I thought about how do I describe this later on, because I started to have a bit of a mini panic attack. And what I did to pull myself out of it was take a moment to mindfully look at what my symptoms were. And the way I would describe what I was feeling was, there was a moment where my chest felt like it was sinking and it was tightening around my heart. You've felt that before? Yeah, it was like a sinking, cave-in feeling around my heart.
It's a feeling that I get when people get angry.
When people, yeah?
For example, if Dad gets angry, if I do something wrong, that's the
feeling, the symptom. Yep. So what I did in that moment was I looked at the ticket. It was $79, which is effectively, that's a fair bit of money for a parking ticket,
Depends
and
on where you are. It must be.
Yeah. I raced through what $79 would get me. So tomorrow I'm having a massage, and I was like, that would cover that, and I did all of those things, and that's when my anxiety was building. And so I took a moment to acknowledge what I was feeling, and then to say to myself, there is more money coming. And it seemed to get me through. I also rang my husband, because I know he's really blasé about those sorts of things, which, would normally frustrate me. But in that moment when I was anxious, it was great to hear him say, oh, come on. Like, it doesn't matter. Who gives a crap about a parking ticket? Are you okay? Is the car okay? Nothing's happened. There's been no accident. Let's be real. So that really helped me.
I think a lot of people would say, just don't think about it, and a lot of people don't realise that's not an option.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, people would probably say to me, oh, don't even worry about it, don't think about it anymore. But I couldn't do that. I needed to sit in my anxiety and to acknowledge those moments, and then I needed to experience it to let it go. So, that's what I've found. Denying my feelings doesn't help at all. I need to experience it, which sounds weird because I have to experience the anxiety. But by experiencing it, acknowledging it, looking at it, and I mean, concentrating on where I'm feeling it, because I have physical reactions to anxiety. By doing that, I am able to let go. So I think that's been my anxiety moment of the week. Next week when we do it, what you might do, AB, is think about any anxiety experience. It doesn't have to be from this past week.
Because
we're just sharing our moments. Beg your pardon?
I probably won't have an answer, but...
Yeah, because it's another week of holidays.
If we're going to be able to do any time, there's plenty of examples.
Well, I could have... Yeah, you might save our big argument where you...
Oh, we don't need to...
Don't want to do that?
That didn't even happen. I don't know what you're talking about.
So, we're moving on to no small talk. So there's no small talk here as I ask AB about what do you dream about?
I thought about the answer, and I know the answer, but I thought about how to explain it. It's like taking assets and races and stuff from World of Warcraft and then using it to forge my own world.
Your own what?
World.
So when you're dreaming at night, when you eventually go to sleep, because you're a bit of an insomniac,
Just a little bit.
when you do go to sleep, your dreams are about what?
The world is called Kazoth, which I made a god language, a bit of one, not everything because it's not necessary, but Kazoth would mean abandoned, as there's a great evil sleeping at the bottom of the sea.
Wow. So you've created a whole world, a mythical.
Yeah,
Is that the right word?
Yeah, it'd be the beast with 1,000 eyes. Once all the eyes open, the end of the world is it.
The world is over.
Yeah.
Can you stop the eyes from opening?
You can prevent it because you can prevent it long enough, I guess.
And you actually dream about this?
Yeah, because there's a lot of things. It's not just the events gradually happening. What would open the eyes? There's actual civilizations I built on there.
And
An empire, all these other things.
AB has drawn this up.
Yeah, on a map.
So we might be able to show everybody on the Facebook page.
Don't actually have it. I haven't specified where the Great Sleeper is.
Okay.
That's what he's called.
But you could show us the world. So what does the world look like?
Okay, so in the left corner, there's a section of the world or a continent called Wraithala, which
Wraithala.
yeah, it was the homeland of wraiths, and multiple other races, but there's 3 provinces. If you're into like Elder Scrolls, that's what they'd be called in that, or countries, or just whatever.
So a lot of it's based on or stems from, the starting point is World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft, Elder Scrolls, fantasy.
Yeah.
Basically, it's fantasy. But Wraithlan is Wraith, and Len in the Konkarian tongue, because they're now native.
What's Konkarian?
Konkara is a place. In
your
spot.
world?
Yeah.
Or in somebody else's world?
No, in my world.
In your world.
And the Konkarians ventured off, some of them, and built their own nation, which was Wraithland.
Okay.
And slayed the Wraith.
Now, what's the world called again?
Kazoth.
Kazoth. So that's like Earth.
Yeah.
And then
Wraithland.
Is that like Australia?
It's heavily inspired by Scotland.
Okay.
That's why it's my favourite.
So we're back to Scotland.
No, not really. It was really just the map. I put it northern, and I really like how Scotland looks on a map. It's like really jagged and all that. So I put that in. And just south of Wraithland is a country called Skara. Skara, yeah. And
Skara. I don't know. I think I'm singing the wrong words. Go.
To the east is a country called Labrin.
Yeah,
and that's all the countries in Rathala. But there's another one called Azeroth.
Yep.
I don't remember all the countries because there's a lot.
And you just name them every time. How long have you been?
Not every time, because now that I've got a set map, something I made and confirmed that this is what it looks like.
Yep.
I don't have to rename them. But there's Kyrson is like the center, and where the kingdom, the main kingdom of the world, the alliance, the empire, whatever you want to call it, stems from.
Okay.
To the north, I think it's to the north. There's a country called Angrathun.
Yeah.
And yeah, just goes on and on.
And so you dream about this?
Yeah.
You sure?
Kind of think it up, and then in the morning I kind of put it down.
So are you thinking about it as you're going to sleep, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you'll continue to dream about it. Okay. It's interesting. Maybe you'll make a movie about it when you're older, or write a book.
I have been writing a book about it.
Have you?
Yeah. I called it Malorian Chronicles.
Okay.
However, it was about a previous design of the world.
Okay.
So I'd need to write a different
okay.
one to match up with the current design
And where do you write it?
on my laptop.
Okay. I didn't know that. There you go.
And for fun, I translated into Gaelic, which is Scottish.
Okay. So this is a bit like a free flow, which is where you get to talk about anything you want. So maybe you want to talk about something else.
Well, I mean, I can continue on with that for free flow later, but that is what I dream about, so it's,
Yeah, that is what you dream about.
can't really answer anything else.
No.
That's what I mainly dream about.
Is it? I have a recurring dream sometimes. I haven't had it for a while ago. It's about my grandfather, who I was really close to. I see him on the street and he's like, "Hey, you forgot that I was alive." And then I go, "Oh my goodness, I did." And he's been passed away since like 1995.
It'd be pretty disturbing.
It is. I used to wake up really, really sad. I don't know if it was like my subconscious telling me I hadn't thought about him for a while. It's been a little while since I have dreamt it. But it used to, wake me up and make me feel like I'd feel sad.
I'd be an odd type.
Yeah.
Thing.
But anyway, it's, I guess I do, I mean, I always think about him, but I think it was some sort of subconscious meaning like that, I don't know. So I just thought with free flow you might expand then on what else have you learned about Scotland this week? AB's still walking around in as much tartan as possible, so what have you learned?
At the moment, but yeah, usually. No, I can't. I still do it. I don't like some of the wars they took part in, which is most of them 'cause they're part of Britain. But
What did you ask me to do the other night? What did you come into my room late at night and say, "Hey mum"?
Embarrassed.
No.
I wanted to get a bagpipes.
You want to get your own set of bagpipes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to have lessons? What did I say to you?
I'm gonna have lessons first.
Yeah. And you got to see how long you want to do it.
I like instruments like that, though. Like ones that you get things like mandolin or very cultural type things.
Yeah.
Folk things you can play folk songs.
Folk.
Yeah.
Folk.
Folk.
I don't
Folk.
think you say it with the L really. Folk songs.
Folk.
Maybe you do. Maybe
Folk.
my...
I don't know.
You
We're Australian, we have an excuse.
We have an excuse. Oh, you're banging down your coffee cup. Apologies to everyone
You
listening.
can cut that out. I'll try to.
All right. So that was free flow. We're going to talk about the segment that I was calling Mother Knows Best. I might just call it Sam Knows Best. Sam's knowledge. Sam's wisdom.
The deepest chambers of Sam's brain.
The deepest... No, because it's just going to be a bit of advice about something that I'm doing.
I want the deepest chambers to be...
You want the deepest chambers? We'll work on that. Maybe that can be the philosophy question. The deepest chambers. Anyway, I'm going to talk about how I've been using essential oils to manage my anxiety.
It's been going on for like a year.
Yeah. I've been using, since July last year was when I first started using oils. And I began with, I used doTERRA, which is just because, again, because of my money anxiety, I've done some research and looked at more affordable ones and different models, and I struggle with the party plan aspect of doTERRA, etc., etc. But I've found I really like doTERRA products. So pushing through all of that anxiety, I invested in the Home Essential kit, and probably the one that I use the most to benefit, there's probably a couple. I use from the Home Essentials kits, I use one called Frankincense, which people would know from as the king of oils. It's one of the ones that was taken to baby Jesus. So if it's good enough for baby Jesus, it's good enough for me. Frankincense, and it's one of the oils known to cross the blood-brain barrier, and I take a drop under my tongue. So there's some people who don't, there's a couple of different models of aromatherapy, and some don't say ingest and some do, and anyway, do your own research, but I am comfortable with it, and I take a drop under my tongue during highly anxious times, and I find it really helps me. So then the rest I've been using in an aromatic way, so using in a diffuser. And the one that had my first real assistance for my anxiety was one called Balance. And as the name suggests, it's a grounding blend. So I diffused that. And I was using it as a perfume, so aromatic dressing, and I would find if I was feeling a bit anxious, this was while I was transitioning off my medication with the supervision of my GP, I would take put a drop or on my wrist, and I'd do 3 quick breaths.
You've also been into spearmint.
It was really quite grounding. Yeah, at the moment I'm feeling really drawn to spearmint. So, yeah, I just...
It helps, I do as well.
Yeah, you do.
Peppermint, it unblocks my nose.
Yep. And do you know, so, yeah, AB uses peppermint, and he says it's because it really helps him unblock. So, in the midst of a panic attack, I have seen he has gotten it. And that day that you're walking around and you're using it, I think that's about letting more oxygen in, because you have trouble with your nose blocking, don't you? And so
usually blocked.
Yeah, and when you're upset and in the midst of a panic attack, then it's going to be worse. But yeah, you reach for peppermint, take a breath, and it really seems to open up your airways and allow more deep breaths into your body, which... Anxiety is all about managing it is all about finding your breath, and that's been my experience anyway.
You've also been using some oils and some kombucha you've been brewing?
I have. I'm making kombucha, which...
Speaking of brewing, we should try and brew ginger beer.
Okay.
Just because Gran told me that her mum did it and Pa's mum did it. It'd be like a family tradition.
Okay. Well, let me master my kombucha. Let me master my kombucha, and we'll let people know if we are going to brew ginger beer. Philosophical musings. How will humans as a species coexist
with...
Go extinct. How will humans as a species go extinct?
There's many options. If nuclear warfare happens, that's probably the best answer.
Do you think nuclear warfare is a possibility?
I think people are smarter than to do that, but you never know. Because, I mean, it's obviously going to damage... Apparently, there's enough nukes in the sky to destroy the world, 12 times over.
Really? So how...
Hopefully, Donald Trump is a little bit... smarter than to destroy the world 12 times over.
Do you think he is?
I hope so.
Yeah, it's funny that you can't say yes. It's funny that we have to say I hope he is. We hope that it comes down to him being smart. Anyway, that's another question. What are the other possible ways?
Global warming.
Yeah.
And climate change.
Yep. Do you think they're real?
The sea could rise up and swallow a lot of the world.
Yeah.
And I believe in global warming. You can feel it if you were back 10 years ago. It's not as
You were like a baby 10 years ago.
I'm not talking about for me. It was like 5 years ago for me, but
Yeah.
you can still feel it.
You didn't feel a change.
But I was talking to you. If you went back 10 years ago. it'd be
Yes,
different.
I agree. There is certainly a change in where we live.
Or if we manage to not get ourselves killed by any of that, we're eventually gonna die out anyway because of something, the sun exploding.
The sun's going to explode?
Yeah, it's what most of those suns do eventually.
Do they?
We're not going to be alive for it. Yeah, most of them do end up exploding. Now, whether we have the technology to get out of the Milky Way, which will be completely wiped from existence, up for debate.
So do you think about, like, because one of your things is that you catastrophize things.
I think the sun exploding, I don't, because I'm not going to be alive for that, but there's a possibility I'll be alive for nuclear warfare.
Yeah.
Or a World War III.
Okay. See, I don't think about those things. Well, I mean, I hear some of Donald Trump's stuff with North Korea, and I think, some of his Twitter rants and stuff. But then I'm able to just stop thinking about that. Do you think about it a lot?
Yeah. Too much for my own good.
Is that the sort of stuff that you're thinking about at night as well?
Yeah. Sometimes. Usually, as I said, I made this world as a distraction, actually. That's what I made the world to do. As a distraction from me thinking about those things. I made it as a distraction and it works.
Yeah.
Me building this place that doesn't exist helps.
That's cool.
And that's why, that's also why I like WoW. It helps a lot. I can get the story. Like, if Dad plays it, he says he doesn't get into the story. Me, I like reading the books, watching the videos of the lore, and just getting into the story of a world that doesn't exist. Of a world that's interesting, with civilizations that couldn't possibly exist in the real world.
Yeah.
Finding secrets of things that are all just in another person's imagination, an imagination that's similar to mine.
Yep.
And
That's
it helps with making my world as well. Getting ideas from other places, like Lord of the Rings, The Elder Scrolls, and Warcraft.
Yep.
All those things.
They become stimulus for your own creativity. And then you don't have to think about stuff.
And how they build the races differently. In Lord of the Rings, the orcs are bad, but in WoW, they're just misunderstood.
Okay.
They did do bad things in the past, but...
Do you have orcs in your world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always thought
Are
about...
they bad or are they misunderstood?
I haven't thought about it, I haven't fleshed them out yet. But, I thought of a world, it'd be interesting to see them flip the ideas of it on their head. Kind of like that Will Smith one where they brought fantasy into modern day.
Okay.
What if they made the orcs the very snobby elf-type people, but then made elves the people in tribes? I always thought that'd be interesting to see.
Okay. That sounds like something I don't understand.
WoW has been doing it recently with the trolls, and they have an empire with buildings made out of gold and things like that, and that's where I got the idea from. It's just interesting to see how different people handle the same story.
Yep. That is interesting. Well, we've covered a bit tonight.
Is it already the end?
It is already the end. We're
It
at the end
is.
of our journey.
Well, that felt like a fast one.
Well, it was 30. We're on 32, so I like to keep it around 30. I think that's good for people listening.
How long would conversations go for? Most people get annoyed when they go for an hour.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No.
Small talk's bad. Very long talk is bad.
Somewhere in the middle.
No long talk.
Somewhere in the middle is good.
Yeah.
But we do like deeper.
Running out of ideas to talk about, and then it just causes the next awkward moment of the week.
Yeah,
And
but we don't run out of ideas. We could talk forever, but
Well,
we need to keep this.
I could talk forever about WoW or the made-up world that I've made, but I feel like that'd bore people.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go.
Nah, I find it interesting and I think it's interesting exploring why you created that. You created it to stop thinking about issues in this world.
Yeah, escape to another world. That's why people read books or do that sort of stuff.
Or watch films
That's why I make worlds and play video games. It's an escape from.
Yeah, but you got to be.
I'm not particularly bad at the moment because I haven't seen a lot. But when I watch the news, I do get particularly stressed.
Yeah. But it's important that we've got to find out. You've got to be able to exist in this world and know what goes on.
I can exist. I'm a functioning human of society.
Okay.
I definitely. And I've also been getting into the Elder Scrolls.
Okay. Well, you can tell me about that later, or we'll come back to it next week. We might wrap it up for the moment.
Bye, everybody.
Hopefully everyone has a great week and take care of each other. We will see you on episode 4 next week. Reach out if you'd like to chat to us or share some of your coping strategies with anxiety.
Maybe one day enough people will watch it where we can put in a segment where we read hate comments.
Yeah, no, we don't want hate comments.
Laugh about it.
No, we'd love to read positive comments though. So
I like reading hate comments that are stupid.
Yeah, but I don't think we'll get that. I have awesome feedback from some of my fabulous friends online. Shout out to Kelly who's been listening. The block person. I'm sure she'll appreciate being known as the block.
I don't know what you call yourself.
Blockheads.
Blockheads? Because that just sounds like people that watch The Block.
Yeah, we've got a TV show here called The Block. But not us. We are Blockhead sisters. Anyway, wrapping it up, I am Sam.
And I am Abba.
And thanks for joining us on The Constant Flow.
Thank you. Goodbye. I appreciate each and every one of you.
If you're enjoying our podcast, please consider giving us a 5-star rating on iTunes. You can also find us on YouTube, Stitcher and SoundCloud. Don't forget to visit our Facebook page, The Constant Flow Podcast, for show notes and resources.